Okay, awesome. Man, there's been so much great work in this data blitz, and I feel like there's one very specific reference I'm going to make, and then there are some other works that I definitely want to hear more about. So I am Leif. Let's see, yes, we have my about me. I'm a data scientist at Pinterest. My primary work is focused on surveys and data labeling and thinking about how that plugs into content ranking. Part of my work is also partnering with external experts, so I'm hoping that this conference will help support some more of that work as well. So Matt, I think you should take it as a compliment that multiple people have also tried to share out your work. I did not talk to Matt before the conference at all, I promise. But we were very happy to see some of this research. Obviously, we think this is really helpful. And I promise we were not associated with this at all. We just heard about it after the fact. I'm going to skip over some of these because kind of honestly, Matt, you covered a good bit of this already. So basically we're seeing sort of, I mean, honestly, your cluster analysis I think was kind of the best sort of breakdown of this. The one thing you're not seeing me share here is that really low score on the meaningful social connection. And our piece here is sort of like, that seems fine to us. Pinterest is not really organized around social connection. Our founder, Ben, has talked a lot about Pinterest being just a space for you to collect and save things, not a space to be in public with other people, comparing yourself to other people, focusing on likes or comments or anything like that. So that scene, we weren't super concerned about that very low score we got there. This piece, I don't have the learning something useful in here slide, but basically we were happy to see that we were high on that score, but not as high as YouTube, and we felt like, okay, that's a good learning point for us. What I wanted to talk about a little bit today is how we sort of work towards these results, how we think about user well-being, and how that shows up in our work in the product. Our CEO has talked publicly this year about optimizing for explicit intent rather than, say, passive scrolling. So we optimize a lot on do people save, or what we call repin content in our content ranking. And the goal here is that we don't want to optimize for the car crash you can't look away from. A lot of times on Pinterest, what we're optimizing for is the helpful recipe or the home remodel or something like that that's genuinely valuable for you. We've done a lot of work on what we call inclusive product. These are 3 different features that have come out to basically make sure users can actually find themselves and feel included on the platform. We know this is a big problem with a lot of social media in general, and this is work we've invested in. This is research we did with UC Berkeley. Actually, Juliana, this is Darren Sharps, who I think has worked with you. Darren's done awesome work at Pinterest on well-being, and she wanted me to clarify, this is exciting research that there's actually a way that using Pinterest can be good for your well-being, but she wanted to clarify the nuance here that finding inspiration on Pinterest can be good for your well-being, not necessarily any use of Pinterest. So we think a lot about optimizing for inspiration on Pinterest. The last thing I wanted to flag is this new pledge that we're launching called the Inspired Internet Pledge. We're doing this with a bunch of other tech companies, getting signatories on board. There are a number of different principles, but the thing I really want to flag is this principle 3, which is sharing lessons collaboratively across the tech industry. There's been a lot of great talk about this in the conference. That's a big part of the reason why I'm here is principle 3. This is how I explain this to my manager. I'm going to this conference because of principle 3. And I really hope that, like, we were sort of excited to see Matt's results, but we feel like there's a lot more that can be done to make Pinterest better. And we feel like there are a lot of problems that are common to content ranking, some of the stuff that Smitha talked about in her talk that are probably common across a bunch of tech companies. And we're hoping that working on this, sharing findings collaboratively can make the whole industry better. Yes, that's it for me, and I'm happy to take questions.